What's up, guys? Welcome to another edition of the Motley Croc Show. Here we are again. It's the 24th of May. Time's flying. I just looked out the window. It's still daylight, which I find that kind of odd, actually. But in the same sense, it's still pretty cool. We still get a little daylight to kind of do those summertime fun things. Also have Joe coming in the green room here. He's up in the NYC. I'm going to go ahead and bring Joe on real quick while we're waiting on the investigative Brit. What's up, Joe? How you living, buddy?
What's going on, bro? I'm good. How are you?
Man, I am having fun. I was up in Sarasota today. I did a little run around, got some work done, just the good stuff, working. What's up, Michelle? How you doing? Michael Foster's here. What's up, Michael Foster? What's going on? Kayla's here. What's up, Kayla? How are you? So, yeah, Joe, how's the weather up there, buddy? Is it
Today was pretty chilly. I mean, chilly me being 60, but the past couple of days, bro, it's been like fucking in the 90s. Hot as hell, man.
That's disgusting, dude.
It is disgusting. Bro, I went walking around the zoo, and
there's our homie. What's up, Jeff?
What's up, Jeff? But yeah, it was pretty fucking nasty.
Really?
Yeah, sweaty fucking balls and shit all over the zoo.
60 and your sweaty balls, dude? No, come on, man.
No, today's 60, but over the weekend it was in the 90s.
It's just unbelievable. And everybody talks about New York weather being or Florida weather being weird, but that sounds a little bit crazy to me. I mean, to me.
No, it's definitely been crazy up here.
You look like you're all posed out like a Playmate centerfold on that bed right there, man. That's
yeah. I'm fucking laid out on the couch.
I love it, dude. That's a nice couch. That's one of them classic Gothic couches. If I had that, I'd dye black.
Oh, I know.
Oh, that's awesome. Let's see. Oh, did you find any other skulls up there, Joe? That's what Dan's wanting to know.
No skulls.
Bronx Zoo. Michelle said, I love that place.
Yeah, it's great. I love the Bronx Zoo. There's some baby Komodo dragons, some baby Chinese alligators.
That's the only reason you like it.
You know it.
Yeah. But that's good, though. Yeah, there's been a whole lot going on. I mean, I was, I read a couple stories. I thought there were some interesting stories in the world. So I was reading, and then I was talking to someone else. I'm not going to name drop it, but there's the sexy Corey. What's up going, Corey? How you doing, buddy? Jess said, I missed the Bronx Zoo. I forgot you guys were all up there like that, too. She grew up on Long Island. Michelle grew up on Long Island. That was my zoo. Cool. Always seemed a little cold for me, but so so I guess somewhere in California, they want to make it to where if like a kid is like 8 years old, they can decide what gender they want to be, which means like remove their penis without consent of an adult. That's a little odd to me.
Yeah.
Like within sound mind, and why can't they vote?
You're right.
But don't you think it's a little weird? Like we all make mistakes when we're kids. We do some dumb shit, but you can imagine doing some shit like that. That would be kind of weird. I'm not against it, but I think that you should definitely be.
Here's my thing. You've got to wait till you're 18 years old to decide if you want to get a tattoo or something, right?
Yeah, she said that's repulsive. Right, exactly.
Okay, so you have to be 18 to decide if you want to put a permanent fucking piece of art on your body. But at 8 years old, you can decide if you want to chop your dick off or not.
Right. So, like, I don't have any young children. Angie, I know she's on here. She's watching 2 Angies, and I know she has a son, but I don't think he's old enough to make those types of decisions against the parents. I mean, I just found it kind of interesting, and I'd like some insight on it because I'm not against anybody changing their gender, but don't you think you should be in sound mind? I mean, sometimes somebody said most kids at 8 years old think they're a dinosaur. Does that mean we're going to tattoo them green and sew a tail on their ass? I mean, there's got to be a line of some sort of, why can't kids just have innocence anymore? I agree.
Absolutely, Katie. I agree.
And you can't make any other medical decisions until 18. That's correct, Michelle. But yeah, I was reading it and they want to put that in law. I just think to let an 8-year-old child, I mean, I can think of my nephew when he was 8. He would have been like, you know what he would have been doing. So you don't want to wake up and then I just don't think that should be a decision made by a child because you don't know what you are at that age. You don't know. You're not sexually driven at 8 years old to know if you're a boy or a girl and what you want to do. Your chemicals are still all mixed up. Now that's just a scientific fact.
I agree. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to offend some people, but
okay, but remember that this reflects Joe's opinion.
Yes, it reflects my opinion. I feel like everybody's entitled to their own happiness.
Exactly.
If you're a boy and you want to be a girl, go for it. If you're a girl, you want to be a
Fantastic.
boy, go for it. If you want to marry same sex, go for it. Everyone deserves to be happy. The problem being, like, I guess something in the shadows or whatnot, which is not okay either. To now, it's being forced down everybody's throats. And like, I remember growing up as a kid. No,
Fucking
seriously. I
Jeff. I
mean,
love Jeff. Read Jeff's comment. That's why I'm laughing. But go ahead, Joe. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Okay, so now I remember as a kid, and I'm sure you remember, and probably Brittany too, because she's in the same age group. Fucking, they used to have cigarette commercials on TV and in magazines.
Yeah.
Joe Camel, the Marlboro Man, all
the
that
Marlboro
bullshit,
Man,
right?
100%.
They removed all of that because they felt like those commercials and those advertisements were influencing young people to smoke. It was romanticizing the idea of smoking cigarettes. But now we have commercials where you have trans couples and same-sex marriage. Like, I remember seeing a car insurance commercial with an interracial gay couple in a bed. That's cool.
Mhm.
I'm okay. I'm cool with it. My 7-year-old nephew shouldn't see that because he's not of age to where he can decipher whether that's right or wrong, if it's for him, if it's not for him. He's not of age to make his own decision. And I feel like those kind of commercials, those kind of advertisements are kind of I don't want to say normalizing because somebody's gonna fucking nail me to a cross for saying that. But I feel like they're making it more fucking like mainstream, and it's persuading kids who are not mentally fully developed yet into something that they may or may not want to be when they grow up.
All right, so let me. I'm always a devil's advocate, so I need to always, speak on behalf of the show and how I feel about that statement. I agree. I agree with. I don't think kids should see anything that's inappropriate. There are a lot of commercials where, and I'm going to take it back to even before that. Like, I remember when I would watch reruns of I Love Lucy when I was a little kid. They slept in separate beds. They just didn't even put them in the same bed. In the movies and TV shows back then. So I understand the innocence of it all, even though there was a lot of filth in Hollywood. They kept it out of the way they're facing us. Say you can't even walk in a store anymore without having them shove gay in your face. It's different for people first in religion. So let me touch on a couple things because I don't care about it. I don't care about any of that. I'm very open to people doing whatever they want to do, and I'm not condemning. So like if you see a guy and a girl couple in bed, it's normal. It's okay. I understand when they show like a black girl or a black guy and a white guy together, or white girl together in there, they're showing biracial. It's okay not to be a racist.
That's awesome.
Completely. Yeah. If there's two men laying in bed looking online and it's not obscene, it's completely normal in today's society, and it kind of sheds light a little on it. But to an 8-year-old, he just thinks like Eli's in his brother's bed or he's laying with his dad or two bros. Or they don't think about it yet. It's when you take it to a whole other level and you make it grotesque. And what I mean by that is I think that public display of affection on anybody's behalf, inappropriate. And I'm talking about between guys and girls, guys and guys, girls and girls, peacocks and chickens, whatever it is. I think that, when you start taking that point of being loving to that point of being vulgar, it doesn't matter what you are, straight, gay, whatever you are, transgender, right, ghost, whatever you want to be. I'm not against it, but you don't have to do it in public to everybody. So like I'm kind of barbaric in my day-to-day life, but does that mean because I want everybody to accept me as a barbarian, I should grab my chick by the arm and go, give me that sandwich, and they go, how much is that? Because I can? No, I shouldn't do that because
agreed.
It's not necessary. We should all have a very equal a thing on that. Michelle says, I'm bisexual and I think it's overboard. Right. There's a lot of people that are bisexuals. There's a lot of people that are gay. There's a lot of people that are roosters and ducks. I came in late. What did I miss? What you missed was, David, just to give you a roundup on it real quick, is that they were trying to pass a law in California that a child, say an 8-year-old child, if he was a little boy and he wanted to be a girl, he can make the decision to remove his genitalia. Now, that's I guess that's something that's being passed. It's not there yet. They're not doing it. It's just something that somebody projected in, and that's what we're talking about. So I don't mind. I mean, it's just like, you know, you go to the grocery store and you buy your steak, but not everybody wants to watch the butchering of the cow. And I think that there are some people that enjoy that, and that's okay. And there's places like Pee Wee Herman used to go to porn studios and masturbate, and they gave him a hard time. That's what he was doing. He was in a porn theater. Let the man masturbate. That's his thing. It's not like he did it at the AMC to the Smurfs. You know?
Right.
I mean, there has to be a fine line of what you're going to take and what you're not going to take. I mean, that's – so I want to be fair to that. So overbearingly stuff is not cool. And, you know, I believe it was Caitlyn Jenner talking about – now, this is a man, Caitlyn Jenner, that won Woman of the Year, right? We all know this. I didn't realize that. Katie had explained it to me, and I had no idea. But then I was talking today, and I was listening to more about what was going on, and he did say a lot of things. He doesn't like all that, throw that in your face and be really ridiculous out in public. He just wanted to be a woman, and he became a woman, and he didn't make a big, you know, he wasn't marching around, setting fire to trees and, you know, tying rainbow capes around her neck and screaming in people's faces. I understand the pinned up, because I grew up in the 80s. I saw the violence and just sheer evil that was committed on someone who was either bisexual, gay, or that's wrong. I still don't believe that was ever correct. There was a lot of that. So I understand the frustration. But a guy that's 17 years old right now doing it off that old way, that's not right, because you can verify it. We are still the most tolerant country in the world to all of that type of stuff.
Absolutely.
We are the most tolerant country. They're burning them in Haiti. They murder them in Brazil. I mean, you'd be lucky if you live long enough. So, you know, we just got to come back down to where it's okay. I'm not anti any of it. If you want to do something, as long as you're not hurting somebody, an animal or a child, I don't care if you dress like a buffalo and you're gay as a day is long. Who cares? I've got a really good friend named Matt that's gay. He's a great friend of mine. Love the guy. He watches the show. But we're not out there. We're just humans. We're humans. You know? I don't care that his fiance is a dude. It doesn't affect me. Some people get really worked up about it, and they take it back to that Christian religion, which I'm going to tell you something. There's a scripture in the Bible, and the Bible states God recognizes no gender. So to him, we all look the same. Okay? So they take all this shit, and they twist it, and they condemn, and they murder, and they're mean, and that's why I think religion now, I think Christians don't even want to call themselves Christians anymore. They're scrutinized because of morons. Nobody wants to do anything like that. And so I think that's where we're at. Yeah. David says, oh, wow, that's insane. An 8-year-old cannot make that decision. Did Jimmy's friend ever go to police?
Shouldn't make that decision.
No, Dan, not that I know of. And then he doesn't believe tons of men should compete in women's sports. And that's right. So Caitlyn Jenner does not believe that transgendered men who become women should compete in sports. That's not fair.
Well, and he was also a very prominent athlete of his time with many awards, very good. And so for him to come forward, or for her to come forward and say that now, I stand by that. I mean, Jenner's been on both sides of that fence and knows what's right and what's wrong, you know? So yeah. If you listen, I have a lot of friends that are gay and bisexual. And if you talk to them, they're anti all of this. There's this extreme little mini percentage group that are forcing this agenda so strongly, but the true numbers, the true people are like, this is not what we're about. This is not who we really are. This is too far. This is too far. We're just grateful we can be married and finally be accepted for who we truly are. And I think that's wonderful. And they know that. They recognize that there's a strong percent that's trying to strip away, you know, the innocence of our young children, of our young generations. And that's not who they're about, because I have lots of gay couples that have children that have adopted, and they have made it very clear. My children will decide who they are when it's time for them to decide who they are, when they come into puberty and their sexuality. Yeah. I'm not going to make that decision for them now. I'm not doing that. Let them be them. Let them figure it out. And I think that's how it needs to be across the board. Teaching it to kindergartens or an 8-year-old, or pushing it on them, or
you also
allowing them to have that decision is absurd to me. It's absolutely absurd.
So let me say this too. Let me intercede on this. Let's just take it from a behavioral standpoint. There's a lot of kids out there that are young, right? Going back to that make decisions or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of kids that pretend that they're gay or whatever just to get attention. There's a lot of kids that pretend that they're mean to get attention. There's emo kids that wear all black and pretend they're out there stabbing animals when they're the most soggiest souls on the planet. So I don't think that you could take that type. You don't know what you are when you're a little kid. You know what I mean? When I was a little kid, I watched the Dukes of Hazzard. I was Bo Duke. I was a big fan of the Culture Club. I loved the band. Boy George was a great artist. I don't care that he wore makeup. As a matter of fact, I always thought it was very interesting that he kind of broke that line back then, and he really did. I wore makeup and went to school, and I think I was in like 3rd grade or something. Everybody freaked out about it. Teachers like, your son's wearing makeup to school and this and that. I didn't give a fuck. I wanted to look like a rock star. I wanted to look like Boy George. It's not that I wanted to be gay or straight at that time. I just thought Boy George was cool, and I wanted to look like him. And how many kids emulate that stuff? Now they dress like cartoon characters and walk around in spandex at conventions. And I mean, that's okay. That's okay. David Zeke, I even think even the shows about the girls and pageants are too much for those kids. 100%, David. 100%. And it will ruin their life. You're teaching them the wrong value systems. I was in kindergarten. Thank you, Mom. I thought it was Peters Elementary School. No, I did it in Peters Elementary. Peters Elementary. Dukes of Hazzard is funny as fuck. Yep, it was awesome. And so back in the day, it was cool. And I always thought that was shit and fast. They're running from the cops, bro. Who wouldn't like the Dukes of Hazzard? Fuck the police, right? Like,
of course.
They're like, woo! And then the car would stop and it'd be like, just then they realized they made a big mistake. You know? And it's like, Boss Hogg was this big guy with a cigar and that big dog and the big horns on the truck. I mean, it was a great show, man. It was great. What's going on, Heidi? How you doing? So, yeah, I wore jeans. I wore a yellow shirt, and I pretended to be him in kindergarten. It was kindergarten then. And then, you start getting into rock stars. Then I got older, and I looked like a metalhead. I grew my hair long, and I had earrings and jewelry, and I was just – but that didn't mean that I had to go, so you don't really know what you're doing. You're just following your job. Man, I never grew up. Me and Jeff, Ricky, and I guess Joe, we just never grew up because we're still the same tattooed dirt we were back then. And it was a badge of honor. And this is what I try to tell people today. It was a badge of honor to be a dirtbag back then and be tattooed. Nobody fucked with you. Everybody stayed away from you. It was something that the nerds couldn't do. And so the yuppies couldn't do it. They couldn't live with it. They're like, you'll never get a good job. Well, you can sell your soul. I want to look like this. And so, that's right. The Lost Boys. So we were the last of the few that were like that, man. And so when people are like, oh, you shouldn't be judgmental. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I think it's great that young kids now are 16 and getting full sleeve tattoos of,
Pokemon.
Yeah, whatever they're putting on there. Because listen, if you're 16, you get a Pokemon tattoo now when you're my age, you're going to cover it up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's things that I had before. I'm like, yeah, we can just draw right over that. We'll just go ahead and cover that up right there. Jeff, you know what I'm talking about when you become a scratch it all.
My whole left sleeve is a cover-up.
Oh, what's that?
My whole left sleeve, the half sleeve from my elbow up, is a fucking cover-up.
Yeah, because you do what you want to do. That's right, Mom. Light-colored jeans only. Yep, you could only get – I had to send my mom because all they had back then – you'll remember this, Jeff. If you remember, it was they were like rustlers, and they were like 14 slim, 14 husky, and they were starched, and they were dark blue. And you're like, that's what Luke Duke wears. Fuck that. So you had to I had to find the Stonewash. So my parents had to go find all the Stonewash jeans, or my mom bleached the shit out of them, rub them around on the street or whatever. But that's how they used to be. And they were like wearing plastic Dickies. It was hard back then, man. Nowadays, everything's at your fingertips. He said, I said, fuck it. Stop covering my shit at the hospital. Good. There's no reason. You're saving lives. You don't have to cover your shit. I mean, Ricky, he's awesome. He gets like the most ridiculous fucking shit. Like he's got like so much profanity tattooed on his legs. I think it's hilarious. And I remember he walked into this one job he was at, and they're like, "Yeah, I think you shouldn't be wearing shorts here anymore." Gives no fucks. Don't you feel bad for Ricky? Who feels bad for Ricky? Motherfucker paid all that shit, paid homage, bowed down before Guns N' Roses, and they fucking canceled on it, man.
I know, that's some bullshit.
Troy, this is Heidi. So Heidi's a really good friend of mine. We basically grew up. Troy, you're way ahead of the times in Lions. You were way cooler than the other kids are. They didn't know how to take you. That's for sure. Thank God you talked to me. A lot of EMS jobs went no visible tattoos. Yeah. Well,
I don't understand that. I mean, unless it's something like offensively graphic and you just don't know. Okay. But I don't understand why tattoos I just don't understand that.
That's our next band name. That's our band name. Ricky got robbed live at the Georgia Dome. But you're right, Brittany. So there's a lot of that kind of stuff. So there's so much going on right now in the way we had to grow up. And that's what I was talking about. A lot of the other bullshit that was going on post-COVID. They don't really care. Too many old people in Florida. More and more teachers have visible tats. Yep, that's right.
But it's funny though, like if you see
that's Claire. You want to talk about someone who's tattooed? Claire is. What's up, Claire? Good to see you. But yeah, she's heavily tattooed too, and I don't think that affected her as a person, her artwork, what she did, who she taught, where she worked. I think that your own canvas is your expression. Now, I'm not saying you should put, profanity and stuff like just to outright be vulgar and sick. I mean, if you're going to do that, cover it up. But just have ink work is. Guns N' Roses got rained out. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Seriously, the old people were offended. Well, almost my great-grandfather had tattoos, man. So
my grandfather was tattooed out.
Yep, he was in World War I, my great-grandfather, and he'd show me his shield, and he had a hula dancer. He had a shield and an eagle and a hula dancer, and he would wiggle his arm like that and make his little hula dancer dance. Man, I thought that fucking 80-something years old, I thought that was the neatest shit ever. You know what I mean?
If you come up to the Villages, yeah, you'll see a bunch of stuff.
Oh, I'm sure.
They don't care. They're all into that. I told
you, we went to a Croc Fest one time, and I've said it before in the show, and Jeff and I showed up, and we were walking in to meet Flavio and David Kludzik and all of our friends. She said, I taught my students what bad art looks like. I have enough money to get ink done right. It's awesome. Yep. And they stopped me and Jeff, right? They wouldn't even let us in. I know ridiculous. It's because of Jeff, but that's okay. I just stood there with you can come on in, but you're standing like, no, I'll stand with Jeff and I'm staying with my friend. No, I'm just kidding. They really did not understand.
You know what's really funny, and it's something that I pointed out. I think I may have mentioned it to Mom. I don't remember, but I pointed it out the other day because it's something that people don't really stop to think about. But if you do, you're like, oh, you know what? You're right. Like, I would rather be in a room full of like tattooed guys and rugged ass guys who have been around, but they know respect for the most part, versus some of these frat guys you see that have no tattoos, popped collars, acting all fly.
They do. They have them. They're just up high. They're up high.
Or they're a flower. What I'm saying is that it's literally like they're, you can't judge somebody based on their appearance alone. And I think a lot of times over the years, the tattoo look got that, like, I don't know how or why it came to be. So when you see a tattoo on somebody, you're like, oh my God, people must have been in prison. It's like, oh my God, I can speak. Nobody did anything for all bad. Of them.
I can speak for my friends, myself.
Yeah.
Jeff, especially. If you talk to most of us, what we've been through in our lives, we're extreme people and we've done extreme things. And so we're extreme at everything we do. Not everybody has the ability to do that. And that's not wrong, man. That's not a bad thing. Mm-hmm. That was just our way to see Ken. And yeah, that's right. So I think that it's not a bad thing, dude, that
no, they have no
you shame. Don't have them.
You're right.
Yes, that's what it was. Yep, that's right. It was Bush Wildlife Jupiter. Yep. And I think that we're just extreme people, and I think we do things a little different than everybody else in life. And I think that we're louder.
But that's okay.
Put it out there, like I'm going to tell you something, that the Vikings that were chopping people in half and stealing entire colonies didn't look like Steve Jobs.
Nope.
Okay, we wouldn't be here today if it was those guys. There's a time and a place, and the guys now that are like that are doing that stuff and creating nerd games and stuff like that and cool technology. It's the time for that now. It's the time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think tattooed people are nicer. In most cases, they are.
Most of the time, they are.
I agree.
Yeah.
Even the ugliest ones come up to you like, "Oh man, I'm gonna die tonight." They're like, "Hey man, can I get you a coffee or something?" You're like, "Hey, what's going on?" It's weird. So. And I think a lot of that has to do with that. So, but then that always goes back. I loop it back to an 8-year-old cutting off his dick. Unacceptable, man. Because if you have to be 18 to get a tattoo or an ear piercing, even to get your ear pierced without your parents' consent. I tell people I have a big personality. Not everyone is going to like me, but the ones do fucking love me. Very well, Jeff. Yeah. That's so true, man.
That's well said, Jeff. Yep. Well said.
They're the ones that stop and help at a car accident. Yep. And David said, fuck, tattoos hurt. They do. Depends on where they are. So, so at the end of the day, and I think Jeff and I got into a conversation about, because I used to tattoo. I used to do a long time. And there's some things you go, yeah, I don't think I'm going to tattoo that on you. I think if you don't tell somebody not to get a specific tattoo or whatever, you're kind of a dick, man. You must not like that person. Because already know what the trend's going to be like when you do something silly like that.
Yeah.
Like a lot of young kids will come to be like, yo, man, can you put this big vagina on my arm right here and so I can open it up? And I'm like, I'm not tattooing that on you, dude. I'm not doing that. For what? Well, it's my money. I don't care. I have to be responsible for that, man. You know what I mean? Like, that's my artwork forever. Even though it was on their body, that's something I did. And so
I had a friend.
I'm not going to do that.
I had a friend of mine when we were like probably about 17 years old. He wanted to get the swastika on his chest, like Ed Norton in fucking.
Yeah, really smart, huh? That would have been a bad move.
And we all tried to talk him out of it because, again, it's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
But you know, he wanted it, and he went to the tattoo shop. As a matter of fact, it was Tattoo Scene. Jeff knows where that's at. And the chick there refused to do it because she's like, "You're 17. You have no idea what this means."
Yep.
And you're going exactly, and you're going to ruin your life with this tattoo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And he got all pissed off.
I know you're right.
But now, now pushing 40, I'm pretty sure he's glad that he didn't get the swastika tattooed on his chest.
So based on that, Joe, you can bring that back to an 8-year-old too. So you got this 8-year-old whose parents like, oh no, you're going to do this because I'm telling you, you feel this way because you like this or you like that, because kids don't know their left foot from their right. And so then when this kid's 20 and his hormones are for a female and he's got no privates down there to do anything with, and he's like, Mom and Dad, why did you do this to me? You didn't let me figure it out when I was older. Why did you do this?
You're right.
It's honestly the parents forcing their agenda on their children. I'm going to say it. I'm probably going to get targeted for that. But it's those parents pushing their agenda on their children because children come out like they don't know. And that shouldn't happen until puberty, until they hit puberty. End of story. What? Is that New Kids on the Block? Oh my God.
I mean, I think that's actually pretty funny, to be honest with you. That's actually pretty clever. But there's a lot to that, man. I don't like there's a lot of old ways that people do. And like, what makes you better? And most of your seedy little snaky fucks wear suits. Don't forget that. Don't forget it. So I'd much better be with the barbarians than the people. And the one thing that we do have is the element of surprise, because we're considered to be not intelligent or whatever, seedy or whatever, but we're generally a lot better at what we do, and we're a lot better at what you do than you think. So, a lot of times, man, I like it because it gives me the element of surprise. They don't expect something from me, and I sit back and I listen, I learn, and then I learn what I talk about, what I have to talk about, which, in life, that I think that keeps you successful. I can't talk, you can't talk about being in jail, locked up, unless you've been there. You can't talk about witnessing a murder unless you've gone through it. You can't talk about pulling the trigger on somebody unless you've done it. So I know I hear it a lot, and they're like, "Oh, it's my video game." And I was like, "Yeah, right." But maybe there's one kid that's a little fucked, and he can come to one of us and be able to chill and learn something, and not ruin his whole life. And I'll tell you right now that kid is never going to listen to somebody with a pop collar and a polo. You're just not going to get that out of them. I mean, Joe, you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
I sent my daughter to school with full sleeves, and the teacher was not happy. The day before the Payment Teacher Conference, she mentioned something about my tattoos. Well, that's what they do, man. Almost everybody, when I was in the club, all my brothers had kids, and they were all tatted from their eyeballs to their toes. And they would do a lot of take their kids in school too, but nobody really said anything to us. I guess that's not fair. But at the end of the day, I just think that you should not look a little past that kind of stuff. I mean,
I agree.
It's not about, a little boy comes home from school and says he loves his best friends, who's a little boy, does not make him gay. A little boy wants to wear a dress because it's pretty, does not make him gay. That's correct.
That's very true.
Correct.
That is 100% true.
Cody used to do that. He'd walk around in high heels and his mom's bra, remember?
Yeah. Yes.
Sometimes he'd wear her bra on his head and he would pretend to be Aladdin. Do you remember that?
Yes. So I miss Cody.
So I mean, at the end of the day, that didn't make him, I mean, he's all right, dude. He's he was just a little weird, but that didn't make who he was.
I do remember that. It was so funny.
The other day we were driving to the zoo, and it was me, my nephew, my sister, and her boyfriend, the two that you met, Troy. And we're in the car driving to the zoo, and I forgot how the conversation came about.
Okay.
Oh, I had said something to my nephew like, "Oh, do you have a girlfriend or something like that?" Now, mind you, he's 7, so I'm just fucking around. And he goes, "No, I don't want a girlfriend." So I'm like, what the hell you mean you don't want a girlfriend? And he goes, I don't want a girlfriend. So I says, what are you going to do when you get older? You're not going to get married? And he goes, no. I said, so what are you going to do? He goes, I'm going to live with James, Luca, and Paul, two of my cousins, and James is his friend from school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what do you mean? I go, you're not going to have girls? And he goes, no, I don't want girls. He goes, I'm going to live with boys. Completely innocent. I mean,
innocent conversation.
Exactly. But to him, like he's gonna grow up with like his little crew basically.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's his brothers.
It's video games. It's movies all night. It's not sleeping. It's eating junk food. Fuck yeah! When I grow up, I'm gonna do it all. That's all he's thinking.
No girl telling me what to do.
I'm gonna
no
be like
girl
my
getting
Uncle
up
Joe.
on me.
Exactly.
Exactly. I'm gonna bro this out. Exactly.
So I mean, there's a lot too.
Innocent
weird
conversation.
Like that,
innocent.
Yeah.
Exactly. There's a lot of weirdness like that, and it's he's all about having fun. That's true because
exactly. But that's all kids.
Yeah, I remember when we were kids and we got to go hang out with our friends. I'd take the car and I'd stay out till 4, 5, 6, 7, 12 o'clock the next day. Stress your parents out, but you're just out having fun, man. You're robbing convenience stores, you're rolling idiots. I mean, come on, Joe. You know what happens, man. You know what happens.
I do.
And I don't mean hurting anybody. I mean just like shoving your pockets with gum and candy and running. Yeah, I remember I was shoplifting with my brother. We were probably like, 11, 12 years old. And John, man, shoved a whole fucking giant bag of nerds in his pants. And then he goes running out and he put his arm down over his midsection, leaned over to hold it, and his belt popped the bag. So he's running, bro, the whole time. And I still don't know how my dad didn't see it as he's running to the car. Nerds are flying out of the bottom of his pants, dude. It was unbelievable. God, it was bad.
Hysterical.
Joe was running numbers and protection rackets. Yep.
Allegedly.
No, he was blowing up skulls.
That's it.
My 10-year-old granddaughter says close to the same. Absolutely no boy live with her girlfriends. Smart move. So I mean that's interesting, dude. I mean, you're blowing up skulls. That's pretty funny. Yeah. We went to Joe and I went to a shop, man. It was awesome. There was like skulls and everything in there. It was cool shit. I love those kind of places, man. And we did go to did make it to MegaCon. Extremely crowded on Saturday. And never saw the Trailer Park Boys. I wanted to. Never saw them. I guess they did something early on Sunday and left too, I would imagine.
I was there on Sunday and we got over. I walked over to where the booth was and they were empty. Completely empty.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, but it was a lot of fun. There was so much. The only thing I think it is to me now, it used to be really like, and I'm sorry for all you Comic-Con nerds if you're gonna get mad at me. It used to be more like you could be whatever and dress up and have fun. Now it's all like artwork, like naked, comic book drawn girls on paper, just row after row of the same fucking thing. Everybody's got their rendition of Spider-Man. Everybody's got, it's like there's nothing original. Like the lines went on forever, these tables, and it was always like, yeah, I drew Spider-Man sitting on a car. Well, I drew Spider-Man on a drum set. Oh man, how much? Oh, that's $800. I'll sign it. Who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? So yeah. I like it when I go with, like a couple years ago when I was there.
Oh, it's true.
It was like people were put like thousands of dollars into these amazing fucking costumes. And they look really awesome. I mean, some of these people do some great shit. I got a couple friends that go there and dress up and they have a ball with it. I'm going to go as Jeff next time. We should all go as our friend.
We should go to the one in Tampa. The Tampa's in September.
It's awesome. But I mean, like it's just a lot of fun. And it was all rows and rows and rows and rows of artwork, like it was just, I like art though. I'm not against artwork.
I will say there was a couple, because I was like, there's no way that there's literally all the hobbits from the Shire, like all the actors were there to be there. And I was like, there's no way they're reuniting the entire, like all the hobbits and not people coming in like amazing garb. And so we literally turned a corner and all of a sudden Like we ran into these two people that I kid you not had to spend probably a good between maybe $2,000 to $3,000 on their outfits, all the way to their feet. And they had goblets. I mean, they look like they came straight out of the movie, right out of the Shire. Like I could have sworn they were like legitimately real hobbits. And I was so taken back by their costuming and how intricate and how well done it was. I was like, that's what this is about. That's amazing. Like they have waited all year for this moment. That's awesome.
You bet your goddamn ass I saw that, and I have a picture of that, and I'm going to send that shit to Joe. What the fuck? That was one of the coolest things there. What are you talking about?
Yeah, you can sit on both of them.
Katie said she feels like it was mostly anime. It was, and that's okay. That's the big thing right now. Everybody wants to be huge. Japanese and wear sharp shirts and stuff. That's fine, whatever. But can it just be like a row of it? Does it have to be the whole thing? What about the movies? I thought it was neat that Vader was there. R2-D2 was cruising around.
Well, they had the whole Star Wars area set up in the back because the one girl from Mandalorian they had 2 actors from Mandalorian there. So they had that whole Star Wars set up in the very back over by the Ghost. There was a
guy there with like a redfoot tortoise and stuff and a Chinese alligator. And he looked like the crypt keeper. He was like real weird. Like, hey, can I place this on your vagina? Can I touch your tits? Let me do that. You know, he's real weird. You know who I'm talking about. For those of you who know, you know. And he was there. Wow. And as I was walking through, he was placing a snake on a girl. Let me adjust this for you. Finger you. Let me touch you. For those who know, you know. Fuck that motherfucker.
We know.
Fucking nasty fucking rape fuck. Anyways. And I think you should do it. We'll all dress as each other. It'll be awesome. Let's do it, Jeff.
Like I said, you guys need to plan. The MegaCon is also going to be in Tampa. I think it's September. I just plan to go to the one in Tampa.
Yes, he did. He sure did. And he had his big fingers around it as he was placing them on girls' breasts. Let me place them on your breasts. That's exactly what he's like. I can't even believe they let that motherfucker in there, man. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Cocksucker. Anyways, that was the worst part of the whole event. Makes me mad. And all the drawings and all the photography, I did all of that, by the way, for that company. It was my artwork, and he's got it up there like he's all proud of it. It's because I fucking drew it, bitch.
No?
Yeah, Jeff, he really is. You should read about him on the line. Like when he plays, when he pretends he's a gynecologist. I'll just stick it in there. I'll pop it. You guys think I'm joking? That's exactly what he's like too. Actually, Kurt plays.
I know you're not joking.
He does a lot better than I do. Preposterous. But he was there, anyways. So I'm thinking about doing the Tampa convention. I'll drag Joe down there, and go there for a few days. I'll take my owl down there. Maybe I'll take Rowdy Roo, and we'll go down there and have some fun. And
definitely, these guys should totally do.
There's like a character, man. That's a kangaroo hero kind of thing. Maybe I'll dress up Roo as that hero. Little pants and shit.
Oh, yeah. There's
Thanks,
all...
Jeff.
No.
I don't know.
Thanks, Jeff. I try. I'm going to need your assistance. I'm pretending to sound smart. I know.
Oh, Lord.
I know. I'm telling you, some garbage.
But that's like spot on, though. Like,
yeah, you're right. There's a movie called Kangaroo Jack, Katie, but
yeah, Kangaroo Jack had the guy from Sliders in it.
You know, he does. That's exactly what he needs.
That'd be so cute.
Captain Kangaroo. No, it's like a kangaroo cartoon or
yeah, hold on, I'll get it.
Yeah,
okay.
he's
I've seen it.
Like, I'm here, whatever he is, a little leather jacket and a rope on his side like Indiana Jones. I remember seeing it. Either that or I'm so fucking high, I'm imagining that I saw it in another dimension. Or I saw it in another dimension. Joe? Are you sober?
I don't know. Yes, unfortunately. I'm fucking
no, that's
sober.
why you're fucking talking. For those of you that don't know, Joe's usually higher than a motherfucker here. And he doesn't talk. He's like this. Yeah, I completely agree.
I am completely fucking sober.
That's okay, man.
It's horrible.
Here you go, Troy.
There's the beginning of the hour right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Kangaroo
Getting the button up with pentagrams on it. You know what?
Look, there's Troy. Kangaroo man. Right, right out of the comic book.
Is it Kangaroo Man?
It's Kangaroo Man.
I'm dressing him up.
Comic books.
I will get him a button up with pentagrams on it. Wouldn't that be awesome? He can be Evil Roo.
Oh, gosh,
you think he rushed you down under the kangaroo rat? No. See, I don't like anything that has to be do with a rat.
No, look, Kangaroo Man with Bingo, the amazing kangaroo. It's amazing. Telling you. He's beating guys up at a bar with his legs.
I should bring Rowdy on the air.
Love it. I should
bring Rowdy in here for a minute. Rowdy. I should bring in Rowdy.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in like a week. Probably.
Well, he's as tall as
Here's Rowdy. So, you ready? There's Rowdy.
He grows so big. Okay, I see it.
That's cool, right?
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he doesn't have a costume, so we're gonna make one up. He had a leather jacket and a whip. Maybe it was, man. Maybe it was. But this guy, he's playing around today. Let me have him. He's so hyper. Can you not be hyper today? Look how big he is. Hold on.
Oh, he's definitely fucking rude.
Can I give you? You want to give kisses? You smell like baby milk and munchies.
Look at his face.
Wow, he's huge.
I know he's growing so big. I had to get him. Don't get aggressive. I know you want to play. Hold on. I'm going to straighten. Look at them legs, guys.
I love the legs.
All right. It's playtime. Say, it's playtime. I want to play. I want to go jump and play. I got you. I'm going to hold you.
I miss him.
I want to hold you. Okay, you can go. Okay.
Joe's like, I miss my little
He's
buddy.
He's a rowdy Roo, bro. All he wants to do is run around. He's like, put me down now. I want to run around.
I can't wait to see him.
He is. He's absolutely awesome, David. Yes, he is very, very cool.
That's what you need to do. You really do need to get, kind of your feet into the sand over in the Tampa Mechacon and be the guy that they come to every year for that. Because
good now you want to hold my Roo.
No.
Boss stress.
No.
You can't.
But I'm saying you need to be that guy. You need to be the Tampa guy.
No problem at all, buddy. He's actually badass. Like he's one of the greatest little critters, dude. Like a lot of people go, "Oh, you reptile guys are a bunch of." I like reptiles, man, but I love all animals, especially just really odd ones like that. The people that tell me you can't do things with, like there's people like, well, there's some animals you can. Yes, you can, and so I just think that it's a big misconception, and I think we underestimate animals because we think they're fucking stupid, and we rob them of their needs, and that's all there is to it. Let's let them have what they need: shelter, water, food. And then when they're like that, give them other things. What's that?
They're more intelligent than some humans.
Yeah, like I told you, someone's like, should we put a chicken in with the owl so he's not lonely?
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh my God. I can't laugh because they're truly just uneducated people in the animal world.
I laugh.
And
I go,
that's horrible.
You work here?
Oh, they work there? Okay, that's
yeah.
That's
go grab the chicken and put him in there with the owl. Let's just see what happens. Owls are solitary animals, man. My owl doesn't even like messing around. He wants to be outside, and he wants to play around in his shit. And the only time he's my friend is when he wants a rat to kill, which it's already dead, but he thinks he kills it because I shake it around a little bit. And he's like, oh, I got him. And then he slams it on the ground and flies around with it or whatever. David, the lemurs are great. They've gotten big now. So right now they're currently outside playing around. But Slash is ginormous now. He's a big rowdy, he'd be grabbing the microphone and ripping everything down. Now he's a big rowdy lemur.
I always thought it would be so cool because when I went to England and I was in the Tower of London and I saw
that's exactly it, Jeff. That's
ravens.
Exactly it.
That was
What's up,
exactly. The ravens are so cool and they're so intelligent, very underestimated. But I was like, I would love to have a raven, even though you can't. So I was like, I'll have a.
You just have to get them crossed. You have to get you can get a raven, an African raven.
Oh, okay.
You just can't have a migratorial raven, and the African ravens are big and are really smart. I know the one at Busch Gardens had to take off display because he was insulting people and using profanity.
Like
fuck you, mister. They're like, whoa, that kid's 10. Let's take him on the back.
It's my kind of bird.
My macaw because he would pick up what Troy was saying at closing hour of our. And he would tell people get the F out at a certain time. And I'm like, Tiki.
Yep.
My macaw picked up his language. It was hilarious. But yeah, no, I've always thought it would be so cool to own a raven. I love them. I love that bird so much.
Yeah,
I
just
love
get a
ravens.
grackle and power feed it.
Huh?
Get a grackle and powder feed it. Power feed it. Grackles are those little brown and black birds that are always out going on the ground all the time, stealing popcorn in parking lots.
Has anybody seen I think that they're on the regimen of like Arnold Schwarzenegger, some of these crows that are around Florida. Like, have you seen these crows lately?
We've got some big ones that fly into the zoo, yeah.
Oh my God. I had some in the front yard the other day that I swore I was like, this is not good. I'm having like the birds. Alfred Hitchcock is in my front yard. This is not good. This is not a good omen. These guys were like, where's the food? Where's the food? I mean, they were huge. I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way that's a crow. Somewhere, some crossover happened and they're flying.
Grackles are the fucking nastiest little fucks, dude. Let me tell you something. I pulled up in a 7-Eleven one time and this drunk girl like vomited all over the ground and the grackles were down there eating it. Oh, that's good, man. Oh, it's a Cheeto. Maybe it's a Funyun. Oh, okay. Sharing out of the juice, jumping around in the juice and eating it. That's just nasty.
So gross.
For a bird,
so gross.
Crows are intelligent, very much.
They are. They are. I love them. That's so bad.
They're nasty birds, man. They're dirty. Grackles are pretty dirty. I'm serious. They eat out of the dumpsters, out of the gutters. They're
everywhere. They don't care.
Yeah, you don't ever see a blue jay eating some vomit at the gas station. You don't ever see a mockingbird eating some vomit or a crow. If you're goddamn right, you'll see a grackle down there having a delight. You'll always find yourself.
John calls those the sky rats. He calls them sky rats. That's what John calls them.
They are. I wouldn't hurt one or anything, but I just think they're grody little bastards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
They're just shy of standing next to the stoplight with a sign saying, "God bless you." I've always thought that was funny when there's always a bum at the side of the light and it says, "God loves you." And I go, yeah, well, he sure doesn't love you.
God.
Sometimes I don't know what they write. What if they write "God loves you"? It's going to give them a 5. Just say, "Hey, I'm hungry. I need to buy beer." When I see someone who says, "I need a bottle of wine" or "I need beer," just give them money.
At least they're honest.
Yeah,
they're flat out honest. They're like, "This is what I want. This is what I need."
Those guys all laying on the side of the road.
I have to tell you. Hold on.
I don't drink Coca-Cola.
That's like, yes, I was with her. She felt so like, she was like, I'm okay. Turn the car around. We're going to go to Chick-fil-A. We did. We went to Chick-fil-A.
Mad Max.
And there's this guy on this, like, with his backpack, young guy, and his dog. And mom's like, I'm going to get, this guy something to drink, something food. And I'm going to get the dog some food. Like, she got him fries or whatever for the dog and some nuggets and a big thing of water.
Right.
And so she she rolls down the window and this guy comes the car and he's like, "Oh, thank you." He's like, "Oh, I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat meat. I don't eat any of this." And I was like, "Well, then you can give it to your dog."
Bro, I would have
not even a thank you. Not even a thank you. Nothing. Not appreciative. Just I don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian. It's like, dude, just be grateful. You're the one begging for shit on the side of the road. Why? Be grateful somebody actually cared to stop and she gave stuff to your dog. Are you kidding me?
I'm really picky about it.
I am burned out. I'm never doing that again.
I know. I'm picky about it because sometimes you'll see some people on the side of the road.
He said I don't drink soda.
Right? Well, I was going to Universal Studios one time. And I saw this man on the side of the road, and I could look at his face and tell that he was mentally challenged. And he was just out there on his own. You could just tell. So I called him over to the truck. I think we were going to Universal that day. I had Heidi with me, and I had a whole stack of, I had what Joe calls the Jewish bankroll in like shoved into my wallet. That's where you take a whole bunch of smaller bills and roll them up. It's like an old thing. And Stuart says the same thing, my partner, who happens to be Jewish. So it's called the Jewish bankroll. Jeff, back me up here. And so I ripped it out of the wallet. I go, "Come here, buddy." And I handed it to him. And he started fucking crying, man. I'm like, "Don't cry. It's all right." But the weirdest thing happened that day. So we happened to be at the park.
I remember this.
Everywhere we went, Heidi was there with me. We went to the park. We're at the right place at the right time for everything. We didn't wait on anything. Food was good. We found some shit. Everything worked out. It was like the greatest of the greatest day. Right. But because you just got to pick it out.
You have to know. You got to feel it. Like, you can feel it. You can tell. You just know. I did that. There was Mom was actually with me when it happened. jeez.
Yep, that was cool. But he was really, you could tell he just, you know what? There's enough people out there being mooches. And then you have people that really need it like that.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. We'll work for veggies. I would like that. Dan goes out there sometimes and says, we'll work for feeder rats so he can go out and try to hunt pythons. I don't know how long you were asleep, Dan. I don't know.
For a while because he was quiet.
They never let him hit the ground. So Jeff said, Joe, we used to give window washer by the Intrepid red hot quarters. And then he said they would never let him hit the ground. It's awesome. Corey said, not long enough, Dan. I love it. Corey, that's hilarious. It's hilarious. But so yeah, just remember some of that stuff when you want to give those things out and help people, I believe you should pick and choose because there's a lot of little douche nuggets out there. Like up here by the Home Depot, there's a lady, 3 kids, a dog, and her husband are always smiling with a sign. Need help with your fucking little kids out there in the parking lot? Come on, man.
I see that shit all the time. All the time by me.
Fuck
that
you.
I see it a lot.
The Wawa by me, fucking, there's like a whole family that hangs out there.
Yeah,
that's people across from my house. Same shit.
Yeah, fuck that. If a kid goes to school and says, my daddy smokes pot, fucking, you got the fucking child defensive services or protective services at your fucking door, but you can stand in a gas station in 90-degree weather with a bunch of kids with dirt on their face begging for money and the kids. So whose problem is it then? Now the state should step in, but they don't.
No.
Right? So why should kids be stuck out in the middle of the street like that?
They shouldn't be. And the thing is that there's shelters
we don't
for
have
that.
To take them away from the
there's
parents.
Help for that.
But we should take them all to a place then if it's that bad. And
there's free healthcare, there's free daycare, there's free centers for stuff like that for people that honestly are truly homeless. There are free locations you can go to help you, especially when you have children. So I get really frustrated and angry when either they don't know, which I think is silly because it's easy to know. So if you can sit out there for 9 to 12 hours from early morning till night with your little kids in strollers and stuff, like on the side of Walmart and things like it just is so upsetting because they're little and this heat is horrible for them. Horrible. Can't do that to kids. It's not right.
Yeah, I mean, if their dog's healthy, leave it alone. But I'll tell you this. I see that. And if I went to that Wawa with Joe, I would look at that family. And I would still go in and get a Red Bull and probably some garbage food. I'd get back in the car and I'd eat it, look at them, and I probably wouldn't think anything of it. Because technically, nobody gives a shit. I don't care. It's not my kids. You want to hurt your family, that's your problem. And that's another problem with all of us. We care too much. We care too much. We need to start focusing on each other. And if we focus more on each other and ourselves, we wouldn't have those kind of problems. Because if that parent's focused on themselves and got in a tight spot, there's places they can go. Or they can step up to the plate and make things different so they're not in that situation with 2 little baby kids and 4 cats and a dog sitting in the street living under a garbage bag. Get the fuck out of here, man. We need to start focusing a little more on ourselves.
There's always places to go for help. There's always places to go for help. Always.
Yeah. Wawa. Right, Joe? And a lot of people think I'm harsh, but I'm tired of it, dude. We need to stop with that feel sorry for shit and let's start pulling it together. And the people who really need to help, we help them. But the people who are just doing it, man, we gotta knock that off, man. We gotta knock that off.
It's for me, it's honestly, it's just the kids. I just feel bad for the kids.
Well, I'll tell you this about
the kids are what I feel bad for.
A year or two ago, over on fucking US 19, there was like a family out there begging for money. And I noticed that the guy had a fucking iPhone in his back pocket. So I'm like, all right, you're out here begging for fucking money. You got your kids, your wife, whatever the fuck, and you got an iPhone in your back pocket. I just so happened to be coming back while they were walking off of the highway. And they get picked up by somebody in an Impala. And I'm like, fuck this. I'm bored. I'm a little stoned. So I followed the car. Bro, they pulled into a garage of a house bigger than mine. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
because you can do that.
I'm like, what kind of bullshit? Like, and that's when I stopped feeling bad for a lot of these people.
Well, you can tell the ones that are fake. Like the ones that are just out there, it's like a job.
Exactly. But a lot of them are because they make more money sitting out there begging than they would if they had to actually go and break.
Yeah, well, fuck them. Then they should have to be taxed.
Agreed.
You know, they don't got a 501c3. They don't got a nonprofit. I make my money and I have to have it taxed. Why don't we tax them then? On the $250 they made that hour sitting out there.
Very true.
Right? I know it sounds harsh, but goddamn, man, like when is enough with this stuff?
Hey, you know,
what I mean?
in New York City, they play instruments and things on the street. All they have out of buckets and whatever.
Yeah, but I like that. I think that's cool.
No, what I'm saying is they're trying to do something to earn that money the best that they can with their abilities. They're not just standing with a sign. You know what I mean?
I've told this story a million times. I lived here for 30 years before I moved to Florida.
Yeah.
And the homeless people here are completely different than the homeless people that I've encountered in Florida. Because here, they play instruments. I mean, not that
they got to survive a horrible winter.
But not only that. Like, we used to have a guy in my neighborhood that we used to call Stolen. He was a black dude, used to hang out by the train station, and he used to steal all kinds of shit and sell it. One time he ran up to my car. There was a car accident on the highway. The woman passed away. He was down there before the paramedics were, robbed all the ladies' jewelry and shit, and was up selling it by the train station before the cops even showed up for the accident. And again, I don't condone that. That's fucked up. But my thing is they hustle. They play their instruments. There's a hustle here. Down there, they're just fucking flat out lazy.
Disgusting. They look like dried up, bearded dragons. And they have iPhones, and they live on goddamn cemetery stones on somebody's dead family member.
That shit fucking pissed me off, man.
That's somebody's family member. You're living on their stone, sitting up there with your ball hanging out of your shorts, resting on the fucking tomb while you're looking on your iPhone, and you look like an asshole that's been stretched out and put shoes on. The fuck out of here with that. How do you have enough money to have a smartphone, and you're going to sleep in the cemetery? You know what, though? They're just... they're in the waiting line, dude, to get in.
But like even here, like the homeless people who hang out in front of like the stores and stuff.
Kimberly,
like that,
you're a little late.
They'll clean up in front of the stores. They don't like put their shit everywhere. Like there's some sort of respect to a certain extent here.
Yeah.
Again, this is based on my experience. I'm not trying to shit talk all the homeless people in Florida.
I'm not shit talking them either, but I said there's some that really need help, and there's some that just don't need it at all, that are just being dirt. That are like, hey, I don't want to do anything, but can I have your hard-earned money because I want to travel down to see the next EDC concert? Hey, man, fuck you.
Well, that's the problem too. Is
figure it out. Sell drugs at least. Do something.
Exactly. Do something.
It's sad because in the cities and stuff, like Joe was saying too, even when I've been to the city and then in Washington and stuff, some of those men you can tell were from the service and they don't remember who they are from their memory loss, and they're just wandering. Right. And you go, this person seriously can't work a job. This person can't, they're really struggling. And you feel sorry for those individuals because somewhere their family thinks they're dead, but they came back and they don't remember who they are. And they're just walking streets and living as a homeless person and not really begging. They're just trying to make a day, and then you see people like the kid that, oh, I'm sorry, I don't drink soda and I don't eat meat and all this bullshit. And you're just pedaling on the side of the road. There's a big difference there. I got a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. So there's ones that you help and there's others you don't. Like when I gave money, I think it was like $80. I had it. And I just said, screw, I'm giving the whole thing. I had it. That's all I had left in my wallet. And there was a dad and a father and a wife and his kids. And I remember when I handed to him, the mom started crying. She was holding her kids and her kids were like teenagers. And the dad was like, thank you. And I turned to mom and I said, you know what? That may have just helped pay their rent. Maybe that was all the money they needed to get through that month. And if that got them through that month, and that was it, they actually got in their car and took off. And I was like, to me, and you could tell that they were desperate. Their sign was not a sign for like, whatever. It was a desperate plea on the side of the road.
Cases where someone needs it, not the same guy every day.
Exactly. This was desperate. You could see the desperation and the embarrassment in the father's face to even have to be out there asking. You could truly see it was a humbling moment for them to receive that. And it was almost like that's all we needed. Oh, wow. That was a prayer answered. Here we go. We're gone. And they just took off. And I remember thinking to myself, those are the people. Those are the cases. Those are the ones you need to help out. Not these ones that literally, I see you're in good condition. You got good shoes. You can go get a job flipping burgers. I mean, come on. You can go get work. You have places you can shower and clean at
party. What's up there, Mr. Roland?
Hey, Nathan.
And we just rolled up on the 8:00 hour. We're 18 seconds into it now. Last time someone gave money outside the station was dogs sleeping. They were both curled up together. Yep, someone trying to survive.
Exactly.
We are at the top of the hour. Like I said, you can go back and check this out on YouTube on the Motley Croc Show, and you can find out the show early, what we talked about, which was some random things. We didn't talk about ghosts, goblins, or monsters, but we talked about 8-year-olds removing their dicks. If you're curious to know about what we're talking about, go on back to the beginning of the show and watch it. It will be on the YouTube. Nathan said he totally agrees. Britt, we're going to go ahead and clock out here. I appreciate everybody coming in supporting the show. You know, I'll see you next Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We do it every Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We're here on Facebook, Motley Croc, my name, YouTube, and now Twitter. And so I'll be doing it live all the time like that. So I will be seeing my crew, Daniel and Corey and all them. I'll see you guys this week. As far as everybody else goes, you all sit tight. Hold on.